Today on Hopped Up Beer Review, we're going to be trying Big Mother Pumpkin from Blue Point Brewing Company out of Patchogue, New York. Thanks for joining us. Hey, everybody, welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give your unprofessional and somewhat biased opinion about the beer that we are drinking and reviewing. And hopefully we've got a fun one tonight. I know Andy and Jay are very excited about this one. I've got Andy the Attic. I've got Jay. I am Ben. What are we drinking today, gentlemen?
The Big Mother Pumpkin out of Blue Point.
All right.
And Ben, I would have agreed. I'd still agree that my first assumption of the pronunciation of the town, the city, Patchogue, like you said, I would have said Patchogue.
But
I'm curious. But I consider, multiple angles on things.
Interesting.
And
it could be
where are you going
Patchogue.
with this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Patchogue. I mean, Patchogue is what, but
Definitely pumpkin.
Is it Big Mother Pumpkin, though? That's the question.
I haven't tasted.
Well, we must
Just
compare
full
it to
of
other
pumpkin and
mothers
spice.
to know if this mother is actually deserves the moniker Big. And do we know, has this pumpkin had children?
I don't know. Is this our first Blue Point? Is this our first Blue Point?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Because I think I've had Blue Point beer, but I don't think we reviewed it.
I had some when I was in New York last time, so it was.
Yeah. All right,
Cheers, mates.
let's Big Mother Pumpkin this up. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Don't look so excited, Andy.
Damn pumpkin ales, man. I'm so reluctant to
I should have turned on the fireplace for this.
And it had to be a 16-ounce can.
Yeah.
At 9%.
And an imperial.
It is an imperial pumpkin beer. 9%, 25 IBUs. Of course, it's made with pumpkin. It's got some cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, and cloves. And boy, is it all coming through.
Mm-hmm.
They say it leaves you with notes of pumpkin pie, graham cracker, brown sugar, and flaky pie crust.
Do you get a little bit of the pie pan in there as well? Yeah. That metallic flavor.
Yeah, toasted biscuits, caramel toffee, and golden raisins. So there's a lot of extras to this than just your pumpkin, allspice, nutmeg.
That's the Big Mother.
Yeah, I get the biscuity feel to it, definitely. It, pushing it to the lines of a kind of like an English pale, but less satisfying. For all those who haven't figured it out, Jay and I are not the pumpkin beer guys.
Yeah.
Who supplied this
one?
I mean,
Ben loves pumpkin.
Weird thing is, I don't really like pumpkin outside of beer so much. I mean, there's a couple things. I mean, I'll eat a pumpkin pie. It's not my favorite, but I'll eat it.
But. Blue Point Brewing Company. We're going to go with Patchogue, New York. Do you any idea, Ben, since you lived in New York City, have any idea where Patchogue is?
No clue.
It's on Long Island.
Okay.
It's a regional brewery. established in 1998. The founders, they noticed that there was a lack of crushable local beers on the island. This is not one of them. They didn't create this. It's like, we need an imperial pumpkin beer to crush. If that was their idea of crush, wow, these guys are maniacs. So 2 of the guys were home brewers, and they opened in a former ice factory. And then they were later acquired by AB InBev in 2014. And then in 2023, sold to Tilray brands.
I actually think I have a Blue Point tap handle.
How do you not know if you have the tap handle?
Chunks of pumpkin.
Just trying to remember if it's Blue Point or not. For sure it is.
When you pour the rest of the can in there, you'll get some chunks. I poured.
I'm so looking forward to it.
Any pumpkin seeds?
Let's roast them.
Is that it? Is that what we got?
Yeah, I'm just gonna wrestle with this beer now.
Makes you want to sit by the fire with marshmallows and s'mores.
I mean,
burn my face off.
This is Thanksgiving beer right here. This is what it is. Even though we're not drinking it in November. All right. Is that so we have you have supplied the information for this one, huh?
Yeah, I have exhausted all my research.
All right, who's had this one?
Maybe you.
I've got an extra one. I haven't had it yet. So I waited for the show.
I'm gonna have to hurry for that expiration date.
Yeah, we looked at it. We're about what 6-7 days. Yeah. From the expiration date. So yeah, I'll have this one soon. I'll jump in there and go first. So I grabbed this one mostly for 2 reasons. One, I like the name and the can art, so that's reason 1. And then 2, I know how much Jay and Andy don't like pumpkin beers. So
wait.
The amount of IPAs they make me drink, I figure I can throw in a pumpkin every once in a while. So Big Mother Pumpkin was, a little bit of a revenge beer, if you will.
Pickle beer on the way.
I can go ahead and give you a rating on that now. I don't even have to taste it.
I'm going to the bottle shop in a couple days.
But anyway, I think I think this one is fun because of the name. I've had several Blue Point, several of their beers having lived in New York. I wasn't huge into craft beer necessarily when I lived there. I like to try different things, but I was still trying a lot of the macros at that point. And as I've mentioned previously, it was ironically a pumpkin beer that kind of really opened my eyes to other beer than the macros. So
just admit you were a Cosmo kind of guy, Long Island iced tea. You couldn't get away from that.
So
you didn't deny it.
Long Island iced tea's got too much alcohol in it for me.
Right. Cosmo is okay.
I can't really think that I've ever had a Cosmo, honestly. Anyway.
In the last week.
Exactly. Yeah. So with this one, I saw the name, saw the brewery. It was like, yeah, we've got to have this for the show on those couple of points alone. This one is, it is pumpkin pie to me in a can. It is definitely the pumpkin, the nutmeg, the cinnamon. The crust, it has to me all those flavors in it. For a pumpkin beer, I actually think this one's really good. I think over time, Jay and I were kind of talking before we kind of got started here. And I think my love of pumpkin beers has waned a bit as I've drank more craft. I've kind of if you will, always been chasing that high of the nostalgic post road that I'd had. And even when we reviewed the post road, it was a little,
let down.
A little bit of a letdown because, again, I'm trying to take myself back to that situation when I lived in New York City, or actually Brooklyn at the time. And, was at Pete's Ale House on Atlantic, and, just the whole thing. Right. That being said, I still like a pumpkin beer. I think pumpkin beers in a lot, I think they're either good or they're bad. There's no real in between. There's no medium pumpkin beer, in my opinion. I either like them or I don't. This is one I like. I think it's tasty. I think being imperial, I don't really, it's not really boozy, it just tastes like a pumpkin beer to me, and pumpkin pie. So that all being said, I'm going to give it a 7.5. I think it's good. I'm excited about the other one I have, and we'll enjoy it here shortly.
Okay. So
with that out of the way,
so this is a pumpkin beer.
Took the long way.
It's all pumpkin and spice and
everything nice.
Nice.
Yeah, sure. It's got some carbonation in it that was causing me to have a little bit of gas, which tastes like cinnamon and allspice. Which I guess would be nice if anyone was around me. I do like the fact that I guess it's 9%. Like you said, it's not extremely boozy, but it's pumpkin. I mean, you're not going to get me to go really high on a pumpkin beer. I like the can art, and I'm a fan of Blue Point. They do some good stuff. If you just judge this beer for what it is, the ABV, the flavor, I agree with you, Ben. There's good pumpkin and bad pumpkin. This would be on the good side for me, but the highest I'm going to go is probably a 7.
All right. Jay, that's like you giving a pumpkin beer an 11 on our scale, honestly.
I don't really rate beers bad unless they're really bad.
He appreciates the effort.
And I mean, they put in some effort to this. It's a 9% beer. They blended the spices nicely with the pumpkin. It does have a good pumpkin flavor, but it's just not as much for me as is, on the subjective side.
Sure.
So,
all right, Andy, in the attic.
I'm actually going to say some not so bad things about it. It's redeemable qualities that I appreciate. It if you're going to force me to drink a pumpkin beer, of course, 9%. So,
hey, let's just say this first. I'm not forcing you to do anything. Okay.
Yeah, of course not.
So.
And I'm sure we've got some viewers, in other countries for like these. We review, and we actually have available to us a lot of high ABV beers, and they're probably like just a bunch of drunks. Why not just drink some rubbing alcohol and get it over with? So. Its redeeming qualities is that it has the extra ingredients in it that don't make it feel like this thinned out, like stale pumpkin taste. It does have the graham cracker and the sugar, brown sugar, and the biscuity toffee feel to it. That really helps it to not be sub 5 rating. But just that lingering, I like pumpkin flavors. I like pumpkin pie. I like the spice. I like everything that they say they put into this, but when you put it into a beer, I would rather have it like an eggnog and whiskey, mix of this flavor than a beer flavor to it. It is something when you mix it with the beer yeast, I don't know what it does to it for me, and it gives a lingering coating on the tongue that I wish just would go away. But I do appreciate, and that's just pumpkin beers in general, but this one they did better than others that we've had. So I am going to give this one a 5.5. It's just, I'm sorry, it's the best I could do. It's still pumpkin, and it's a pint of it.
Do they make pumpkin eggnog?
They actually do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really? Wow.
But
You just
I mean,
put a
that's
little bit
what's
of
great thing.
whiskey in it. And
Yeah.
it's really,
And then when you mix, or you can just eggnog, and you can add your own nutmeg and then cinnamon and whiskey. But yeah, they do make pumpkin eggnog.
Interesting. I always look for the vanilla eggnog every year. It's like a milkshake.
oh yeah, there's some pumpkin
Oh,
spice out there. Pumpkin spice goes crazy now. The
Oh
last
yeah, of course.
10, 15 years.
Yeah.
When you get to September, October, it starts to show up.
Yeah. So here we are in
It's-
March, and yeah, pumpkins everywhere. So that will be a 6.7 for the Big Mother Pumpkin from Blue Point Brewing Company. If you like pumpkin beer, I think it's one you should probably grab and give a shot, especially being an Imperial 9%. If you don't like pumpkin beer, then obviously you probably haven't even made it this far in the review, and that's okay too. Definitely appreciate you checking out this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, cheers, that notification bell. Check us out on all the social media links down below in the description. Come say hey in our Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server. It is a chat room. There is a mobile app, and you can chat with the three of us as well as at the others who have joined us, because there's a few. Lastly, if you have any interest in any Hopped Up Beer Review merch, check it out. Shirt, koozie, link below.
There's a cliffhanger there.
Hey, well, got to make sure people are staying in the video until this point. Give them reason to do so. Hey, appreciate you checking out this video. Go get you some Big Mother Pumpkin. For Andy in the Attic and Jay, I'm Ben. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.